So in this video, I want to share with you some of the ways that I like to go kayaking at one of my favorite places just outside of Phoenix, and that's Canyon Lake, as you can see behind me. Now this is a very popular lake. There's a lot of boaters out here, a lot of wakeboarders, a lot of people out here fishing, and so it can get a lot of traffic on it. So I want to share with you some of the places that I like to go where you can stay out of that traffic, you can be safe, you can have a great time, and you can really access some really beautiful areas of this lake that truthfully a motorboat just can't get access to. And so I want to share those with you, and where to park and how to launch your boat and all of the things that you'll need to know along the way. So, first area that I'm going to show you is this path right here, First Water Creek. So First Water Creek's not very far. I mean, you're talking maybe about a half mile from this point right here to the end of the creek. Now, of course, you have to turn around and go back. So overall, you're about a mile or so in. But the easiest place to launch is actually from this parking lot right here. And I guess it's not really a parking lot. It's more like a dirt lot off the side of the road. But this little paddle here is absolutely beautiful. It's very, very scenic. It's very quiet. It's very secluded. You know, as you can see here in the map, it gets very narrow through here. And it's a very, very quiet, secluded, peaceful place to go. We always like to come back here and pull up our kayaks over here and then kind of hike back the dry creek until we basically want to turn around and head back. Now, after we get a really great rain, this is a really awesome place to go because this whole area floods out and creates almost a borderline river that flows through here. And it's just really, really cool. This is one of my favorite areas to go, especially in the winter. It's quiet. There's no boat traffic out here. One time we were out kayaking and we actually turned this corner right here and there was a bobcat tucked in the rocks right over here. And we didn't see him there until he was right next to us, and then he took off and ran up the rocks up here. But yeah, this is one of my favorite spots, First Water Creek. So the next area I'm going to show you here is the Acacia kind of day camping area over here. Now, honestly, I've never launched a kayak from here, and the reason why is because really, this is where you're going to launch if you're going to go out into open water out in the lake. And like I've said before, there's just so much traffic out here. There's so many boaters and wakeboarders and jet skiers, and they're having a good time. They're having their fun, and that's awesome for them. But when you're out here on a kayak, it's not really what I like to do. And I think there's some better areas that you can take a kayak out at the lake. You don't really need to launch from here. But if that's something you want to do, go for it. You're going to park at Acacia. And there's parking all along here. There's parking here. The easiest thing to do is to pull down this street right over here and pull off really quick and unload your kayaks, and you can launch from here. And there's even additional parking, I think, back over in this area as well. Okay, the next spot that I'm going to show you is Boulder Recreation. So the Boulder Recreation site is located right over here. And this is a very popular spot. It's really a really cool kind of daytime picnicking location. There's all kinds of picnic tables around here. There's this really great aluminum dock that they've set up out here for fishing, and so there's a lot of people that are out here fishing. Something that's really neat about this area is motorboats are not allowed to pass under the bridge right here, and so this whole area here is pretty much closed off to any major boating traffic. But the path that you would take out of Boulder Recreation site comes back here, and it's called this Boulder Creek, and it heads all the way back into here. And similar to First Water, after a good rain, this all floods out, and this becomes pretty much a river flowing through here, which is really, really cool time to come and check it out. But there's some steep canyon cliffs along here. There's lots of green and reeds back in here, and but again, really short. I mean, you're talking from here to here, just under a mile. So round trip here, you're well under 2 miles. And similar to Firstwater Creek, again, wintertime, spring, fall, when there's not as much traffic out here, you could come out to this LaBerge Creek. And I've been out there before, and it's just been me and a couple of the boaters, and it's really a nice time to be out there. So the last location that I'm going to show you is Tortilla Creek. So Tortilla Creek comes back into this canyon over here. Now, there's a couple of different ways that you can get to Tortilla Creek. You can launch from the Laguna boat ramp. However, on weekends and on holidays, only vehicles with trailers are allowed to park in this parking lot. So if you come during a weekday, you can park here, and it really is a good spot to park because you're really close to the entrance to Tortilla Creek. However, if it is a holiday or a weekend, you do need to launch from someplace else. And the closest areas are Boulder and then Acacia. You can also launch actually from Palo Verde. I've never done that before, but you could also launch from Palo Verde, and that would put you a little bit closer. It's really not that far if you do paddle from Boulder, but definitely Laguna is closer. This is a really nice area. This is one of the last places that I've kayaked at, and it's very different from the other locations. The other two locations I shared with you, they're sort of like a slot canyon. There's these really steep cliffs, and it's very quiet and secluded. Tortilla Creek's a lot more open. You've got big open sky in front of you. You're really exposed to the sun the whole time, which if you go in the cooler months of the year, that's really not a problem. But the point that I'm trying to make is you really get a great view of the desert landscape all around you. And so it's really unique in that aspect. And that's something I actually really, really like about it. Another thing that's nice about Tortilla Creek is that the only people that really end up back here are kayakers. There's really not any hiking trails to speak of that come back here. The larger motor boats certainly can't come back here. As you can see, there's really no parking lots surrounding it. And so there's not a whole lot of there's not any picnicking or people out there for the day. And so that's what's kind of cool about it. It feels almost like a kayakers only area of the lake, even though that's not its official title. But yeah, that's something I really like about Tortilla Creek. And it's really, it's someplace I've only been once or twice. And honestly, the next time I go out to the lake, I'm going to go back out here because it really is a very different experience from the other two locations. Now, there's a lot of areas of Canyon Lake that I have not explored yet that I'm looking forward to visiting. And as soon as I do, I'll be creating new videos and putting new content out there. So feel free to subscribe to my channel, and you will be the first to know when I take these trips and post new tips and new tricks on how to help you make your journey out there a successful one.